Hi, Gemini. This is your reading for the week of February 2nd. Or when you hear it and it resonates, and of course it will not be for every Gemini. Gemini, as I'm pulling the cards, I saw two things. One was you blocking your ears to keep out the noise, but you were getting tired of having your hands up. And so the question was what can you do so that you don't need to have your hands up? I don't think this is necessarily specifically about hearing, but for me, hearing is very much connected to the impact that the outside world has on us. Whether we realize it or not, much of that stimulation comes through the ears. So what I'm getting is, with this, you're being asked to use your intuition in terms of how you want to be able to proceed with something that may not be comfortable for you. Now, what you're being told is, do your very best to be neutral, to go neutral around whatever situation it is that you are experiencing any kind of discomfort. And especially if it has to do with communication, especially if it has to do with you being able to take a gentle approach, because typically that's what you would want to do, Gemini. You would want to do or say things in a way that is not harmful, but in some ways what that can do is that can create almost an inability to speak because you're so worried about saying something that's negative. So instead, what Spirit is suggesting is focus on what you like. So for example, if it is somebody who, all right, let's use the talking example. Supposing it's somebody who talks nonstop and you have a really hard time dealing with that kind of intensity. You find yourself zoning out and just kind of putting up with it. What I would say to that is instead, focus on what you like. Instead of saying, please stop talking, what you could say is, I really like quiet time. It's really important for me to just be able to hang out quietly with somebody. It's so nice to be able to do that. And even if it's not directed specifically around the person that you're speaking to, you can make comments about that in a way where it has nothing to do with them talking too loud, because it really is just about you wanting to have space, emotional, physical, energetic space without sound intruding. So now this gets to be about you. You know what? I really, really value quiet time. Or, if somebody's constantly bombarding you with visits or phone calls, I really, really value my time alone. I really enjoy that. And usually the thing is, follow your intuition on this, because typically what will happen when we know what it is we're needing, when we know what it is, what we want to say and how we want to say it, typically the energies are going to support you in saying it at the right time. And create the opportunity for you to say it in a way where it lands with a clarity, with an understanding, but in a way where it just happens kind of organically, so it doesn't have to become an issue. Okay? Now, Gemini, there was one more card I wanted to pull. I started to, and then what did I do? Spirit is saying broaden this out so that we can look at this within the concept of you not having to apologize for stating what you need, you not having to apologize for setting boundaries, that anybody who's going to resist you setting a boundary or be offended by you setting a boundary, especially if you do it kindly, then that's probably a pretty good indication that maybe there are some imbalances in how you see friendship and communication. And that's a really good thing to come to terms with, because a lot of times we have patterns of communication and history of communication that comes from our past experience, our concerns about hurting people, whatever, a whole bunch of things. A lot of it's just really automatic. Our tone of voice, our choices of expression. So many of those things are just so much a part of our internal culture, we don't question how they might impact other people. And that's sometimes what creates the problems and the conflicts in communication and in friendships. So this is something saying, okay, just look at those things, consider all of this as an option, and also really use this as an opportunity for you to understand what setting a boundary is and why it's actually a healthy thing. It's a good thing. What is that phrase? Good fences make good neighbors. It's that quality. And we want to be able to have a boundary that starts before it gets to your ears, okay? So it's the idea you don't need to be able to, we don't want you to be in a place where now you have to create a wall because you didn't create a boundary sooner. A boundary is something that's negotiable. A wall is keep out, boom, right? So this is where you are looking, and this is where you get to expand your own sense of power, confidence, and worthiness, and understanding how that translates into how you can handle emotions with your people more easily and more comfortably and really proactively, like looking forward to it rather than dreading what the conversation is going to be. Okay? I leave you with that, Gemini. Take care of yourselves.